What's up, World Wide Web? Machines on the scene, so let's do it. I just want to say thanks to everybody who checked out my last video. I had a lot of fun doing that, and it had the rather unimaginative title of Plus What, and it was just me talking about Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus, and how one company monopolizing the entertainment industry, what effects that could have on entertainment as a whole. And one of the things that I used to make my point was I broke down some of the numbers on the new Star Wars franchise. A friend of mine saw that, and he asked me a very good question. How the hell do you know so much about it? And the answer is that I don't. No one at Lucas Arts or Lucasfilms or Disney, they've never called and asked me for financial advice. I don't get invited to any financial meetings. I'm just a jackass with a cell phone. And there are places on the internet you can go, and they give you some numbers on movies. And I've always wondered why. They don't really even have to do that. And I guess that just in our instantly connected world, there are websites that track ticket sales, and they're putting out how much money the movies are making anyway. I guess that the studios release their budget and or their version of the budget and their version of how much that a movie makes, so they can kind of control the flow of information. In case you want to buy stock in their company. Nobody wants to buy stock in a company that puts out a lot of movies that lose money. So, anyway, this is, again, the numbers that I put out are just wild estimates. And you can go check it out. There's a pretty detailed breakdown in my last video, but basically you can kind of go with this formula. Whatever a movie makes, Disney anyway, they get a little more than half of that, because the movie theaters make money off this too. And it's been a 50-50 split forever. Disney gets a little more. But to get a rough estimate, half of that price is what the studio will take. And then out of that, they have to pay back the budget. And then there's also, that's the production budget. That's the number they give you on the, at Box Office Mojo and the numbers and all those places. That's the production budget. And there's also an advertisement budget. And it's usually equal to the production budget. So out of that half that the movie theater got to keep, take the production budget, double it, and subtract that from what the studio got to keep. And Star Wars is a special case because they were bought, from George Lucas, and overpaid in my opinion. But they gave like $4.4 billion, and I came up with a 10-year model of paying that back. And after 10 years, with 5% principal. 5% interest on the principal, which is very low. I mean, you can get 10% at the bank. You get in the movies to make a lot more than 10%, but at just 5%, that 4.4 turns into like $6.5 billion over 10 years. So that would be yearly payments of around $650 million that you would have to add to that budget. So It takes quite a bite out of any profits. And my friend asked me, he said, well, with that kind of overhead, can any movie make money? And short answer is not really. The Force Awakens made some money. According to my calculations, probably around $250 million. Which, when you consider, how much they put into it. But it made money, but it was like the 7th highest money-making movie in history. If you can make one of the top 10 grossing movies in history, well then yeah, you can make a few bucks with that kind of overhead, but that doesn't happen all the time, and the key to making money with overhead like that, because there is another franchise owned by Disney that was bought for right around the same price that year after year they just keep bringing in the profit. They pay that overhead, they pay that bank note of 650 something million, plus their budget, plus make something for the movie theaters, plus there's money left over. And the secret to their success is pretty simple. They get in there and they work hard, and they put out a superior product consistently. Here's an example. The Last Jedi dropped on December 15th, 2017. Okay, and since then, the only other movie that Star Wars has made is Solo, which didn't do too well. There's a new one due out in a few weeks, but again, since December the 15th, 2017, the only other movie Star Wars has put out is Solo. And in that time, Thor Ragnarok it came out November the 3rd. It probably would have still been in theaters with The Last Jedi. It would have just been leaving as The Last Jedi got there. But since then, they put out Black Panther, Avengers Endgame, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man. So they've put out 6 movies in the time that Star Wars has put out 1 movie. And collectively, these 6 movies had a budget of around $1.3 billion. You can double that to about 2.6. And collectively, they made a little better than $9 billion. And this includes, the number one money-making movie of all times, which is Endgame, which made like damn near $3 billion. And it's also got I believe it's number 5 now, with Infinity War, which made a little better than $2 billion. And number 11 was Black Panther sits at number 11 last time I checked, with like $1.2 billion. And they put out between April the 27th of 2018 and April the 26th of 2019, they put out Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and Avengers Endgame. That's a $3 billion movie, a $2 billion movie, one movie that made a little better than $1 billion, and one movie that made a little less than $1 billion. So that's how you pay that kind of overhead. You get in there and you do some work, put out some product, and these guys do it time after time. And Star Wars has just been stagnant, They got their little thing going on Disney Plus now, but as far as the movies are concerned, they're not, to me, they're not putting in the work. And, what's the big difference? At the top of the ladder, the buck stops here. And Kevin Feige over Marvel, he hires the best people, the best. He's the executive producer. He hires the best producers and the best writers and the best directors, and lets them make a movie. He doesn't really. He came up with the grand plan, of what he wanted, the direction he wanted these films to take, and and then he just hired people to make that happen, and he leaves them alone. And over at Lucasfilm, you got Kathleen Kennedy, who just wants to micromanage every little thing, over over the 4 movies they've released so far, she's fired 5 directors because they won't make the movie she wants them to make. An executive producer isn't an artist. You know, they don't really need to be writing dialogue and stuff. She has a story group. Well, what do they do? You know, what story do they tell? They're writing the movies. They say the directors write them, but J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, I'm pretty sure that she just gave them a Mad Libs page. You know, the story was already written and just fill in the blanks. And you know, the Marvel movies are just good. They're there to entertain people. And Star Wars these days, the number one point of their movies is to sell merchandise. And then close behind that is to pander to this political, you know, ideology that they're trying to put out. You know, this identity politics and stuff. And you know, I just don't want to be preached to when I go to see a movie. I don't want, you know, everyday politics creeping into my movies. And that's the main reason, in my opinion, why Marvel's doing so much better than Star Wars these days. Just because they're more interested in making good movies. You know, if you want to make money in the movie business, make good movies. You know, if you want to sell merchandise for these movies, make good movies. Nobody's going to buy merchandise from a crappy movie. And I know that turned into a little bit of a rant there, but I just wanted to cover that. You know, they definitely can make money on these movies, and they definitely do. And Marvel isn't far from being paid off. And then they won't have to worry about that, you know, $6.5 billion of overhead anymore. And, you know, after Endgame, man, I just don't see, that was something we'll never see again. That was just such a great, great movie. And it wasn't the best Marvel movie. It was good, but I mean, those movies are just, if you've never seen a Marvel movie, an MCU movie, stop what you're doing right now, you know, and go start watching those things. There's 24 of them now, I believe. And yeah, it's good storytelling, you know. It's fun. It's a popcorn movie. There's lots of loud noises and explosions and colors and, you know, all the special effects you could ever want. But there's some story there too, you know. Make you laugh, make you cry kind of stuff. Just every movie. And I just wanted to kind of go over that real quick. And that's about all I got for you this time. I'm gonna get another video out there pretty quick, and I'm done talking about Star Wars and Marvel for a while, and I'm gonna find something else to harp on for a while. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and have a good day, and God bless, and I'll check you on the next video. Later.